Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video of Marvel Contest of Champions. We are gonna run 7.1.3, that's Gonna Sting in Power Alternator. Now for this part, I would highly suggest you to bring in size champions who have easy access to Power Sting. So I'm talking about your Yellow Jacket, your Void with a special 2, your Wasp, also Human Torch with his pre-fight ability, and also there's a mutant champion Emma Frost who also has power sting, and the new Spider Ham. If not, there is still a helpful note on this path that is for the science champions. Whenever you apply a debuff, there is a chance that you will apply a power sting on the opponent. The more debuffs you have, there is more chance to apply power sting. So champions like Mr. Fantastic and Void and Captain America Infinity War with the right synergies will work really well. And then we have a boss that is going to be Vision Arkus, who's going to have Power Shield and Power Reversal. More on him once we get there to the fight. Just make sure you have one of the counters available to take him down. My team for this part is going to be Captain America Infinity War and also Human Torch. They are going to be my main attackers as they are science champions. And I'm just going to bring in Falcon, Vision and Heimdall just for synergies with him. So whenever he applies a parry, he can have a lot of debuffs, and that will increase the chances of putting up a power sting on the defender. Now the first fight is against the Dr.Strange. I'm gonna bring in Human Torch and use his pre-fight ability, and with him I will get constant power stings on him, and whenever he will try to use a special, he will get a big damage. I'm only going to use Human Torch for the first and the last fight on this path, so that's why I use the pre-fight ability. You can also use it for the whole path, but the champions that are defenders that are coming up, they have a lot of power gain, so I'm going to use Captain America Infinity War for them. So all the defenders on this path are going to be champions that have power gain. So all you need to do is to make sure that you keep applying debuffs of them. Even a parry is also considered a debuff. So when you apply debuffs, they will get power sting, and eventually they will use specials and they will get a big amount of damage. So even if you don't use your normal hits, just make sure that you have power stings on them, and that will also bring down the defenders really quickly. Next one is going to be a Cable. Now with Cable's sig ability, you know that he goes into different buffs whenever he gains a bar of power. So he can have a regen and he can have power gain as well. So it's a bit difficult to control all of that. Try to bring in champion who has petrified debuff on built-in petrified debuff for him. So I'm talking about Mr. Fantastic, Captain America Infinity War with the right synergies, Void. All of these champions work great against him because they can not only control his power, but they can also control his regen if he activates that one. Also, he's very trigger friendly and he does spam a lot of his specials. All you need to do is to make sure that you keep just to have a power sting on him, and eventually he will throw a special and he will take a lot of damage himself and die in the process. Next up is going to be a Hyperion. Now with Hyperion it's pretty straightforward. Just make sure that you have a champion that has easy access to Petrify so you can control his power. So you can bring in a Void, you can bring in a Captain America Infinity War with any tech champion like me, or you can bring in Mr. Fantastic with his pre-fight ability and spam those heavies and keep that Petrify buff on him. Once you have his power under control, then it's a pretty simple and straightforward fight. Just keep applying those power stings with whenever you apply a debuff on him, and he will just die himself because he is very trigger friendly when it comes to specials, and he will die with the power sting damage. Next up is going to be Vision OG. Again, Vision OG has his sig ability in which he gains power with his synthesis. So always try to keep him to only 1 bar of power and bait out his specials. And also use champions that have a lot of debuff. You don't need a champion that has a petrify available to him if you play it right, because he does not have a constant power gain, and he gives you enough time before he gains power again. So all you need to do is to keep baiting out his specials. I usually like to keep him to 1 bar of power, so even if he gains power through synthesis, it's only around 2 or 2.5 bars of power, and then you can lay into him. So right here I'm just gonna bait out his SP2, and because I had a power sting on him, he got a lot of damage. Yeah, and that's about it with Vision. Just keep those power stings up and keep him to L1, and he will die really easily. Next up is going to be Phoenix. Now Phoenix is also very easy to deal with once you have the right champions. I am working with Captain America Infinity War with the tech champion. So, and also I have Heimdall with who's a cosmic champion, so I can do extra damage with all the armor breaks as well. So all you need to do is to parry and heavy him into the corner. If you're having Void, he can work as well. Mr. Fantastic will work as well. So basically any champion that can apply power stings or petrify will work here. Just one thing you need to take care about: do not push her to an SP2, because then she can go into an infinite loop of SP2 and SP1, and she will get a lot of Phoenix charges, and once you try to knock her out, she's going to get her second life and she's going to regen a lot of health. So avoid all of that. Just keep her to an SP1, and when she's down to 0, because you have petrified debuff, she will not gain any health back, and you can just tap her and kill her off. Now the final fight before the boss is going to be Loki. Now with Loki, he's a duped version, so he will always gain power just like Doctor Strange until 1 bar of power. So just be wary about that. I'm just gonna bring in Human Torch for this fight because I'm facing a Mystic champion, and Human Torch will ramp up really quickly. So I'm trying to do is to bait out his SP1s. I'm also trying to push him to SP2 because I feel his SP2 is much more easily evadable and you can punish him as well. But then apart from them, it's a very simple and regulation fight. Just keep those parries and debuffs up. The more debuffs you have, the more chances of power sting you can apply on him. And once you have the power sting, he will just use his specials and he will take self damage and die really quickly. So the final fight is against a boss that is Vision Arkus, who has Power Shield and Power Reversal along with Special Berg, Lockdown and Fisher. So if you get clipped by him, you will get an armor break, and he also has Power Reversal, so do not bring in Hyperion or Modo, any champion that have power gain on them. Also, if you get hit, he will apply a armor break on you, and the way Vision Arkus works, he will apply Cold Snap on you as well. So the best champions you can bring in are either cold snap immune or armor break immune, or champions with heavy nullifies. So I'm talking about your Black Widow Clairvoyant will work amazingly well here, your Sorcerer Supreme will work here, and also all of your immune options will work great. I am going to bring in an armor break immune champion, that is going to be Doctor Doom, but the trick with Doctor Doom is I cannot use his special 1 or special 3 because that will steal all of his power gain buffs and give it to me, and because of power reversal I will lose all my power and I won't be able to use any specials, and because of power shield this will be an infinite fight. Now the way you deal with it if you're using a Doom is that you only use SP2s, and it's going to be a bit tough fight, but with practice you can do it. So all I'm trying to do is to bait out an SP1s. His SP1s are easier to evade, but if not, if he goes to an SP2, the easiest way is to just block the first hit and then swipe back on the second, so you can avoid too much block damage. You can also completely evade his SP2, but I'm not able to do that, so I just always try to block the first hit of the SP2 and evade the second, and then just use my SP2s that give him a large amount of damage. If you bring in champions like Black Widow Clairvoyant, you will be easily able to remove his power gain debuffs, and that in turn will not give you any uh, cold snap damage. Same, you can bring in cold snap champions like Mephisto, or you can bring in champions like Colossus, and because of cold snap immunity, the main threat of Vision Arkus will be neutralized. Once you have that in mind, guys, it's a pretty simple and straightforward fight. By using your specials to give him extra damage of power shield, and you can bring him down easily. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video and these tips and guides helped you out. If you did, guys, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Check out my other series on X6 as well, 6.1 to 3 and also 6.4. And I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time.